Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have something very interesting to take a look at today. And although right now it doesn't look like much other than a kind of scattered mess of dinosaurs everywhere, what we actually have is the Ancient Era Artistry 1/35th scale Rexoning diorama, and this is something that I have been so excited about, looking forward to so greatly, and I am beyond psyched to get this built and painted for you guys. I did kind of put some of it together, but I didn't put it all together quite clearly because I'd like to review it before putting it together, because once I actually put it together, I'm going to have to glue everything, and it's just going to be a lot harder to actually look at with you guys from that point. But basically what you can see here are two battling Tyrannosaurs, and they are really going at it here in this diorama. And on top of that, we actually have a Dracorex and Stygimoloch here in the scene that are kind of fleeing for their lives, just basically trying to get out of the way. So definitely really cool. And again, I've seen some images of this put together and it looks incredible. This actually comes in two different sizes as well. This comes in 1/35th as well as 1/20th, which you can see some images of the 1/20th version right here. It's huge, absolutely massive. This 1/35th scale version I have is already pretty big in its own right, but that 1/20th scale version again takes it to another level. And on top of this, there's actually quite a bit of extra stuff that we have here to take a look at. First of all, he sent me a free gift with this Rexoning diorama, and you can see we've got a really cool Taurosaurus here. I know that this is a kit that he has for sale, so I think I might actually paint this one up at some point in the near future. Maybe we'll review that as well, so we'll just save that for another day. But on top of that, over here, you can see, of course it would be upside down, we have the Ancient Era Artistry Rexoning 1/35th scale diorama certificate here, showing us that this is an original Ancient Era Artistry piece. So I love the fact that they include this. That is extremely cool, really professional on the part of Ancient Era Artistry. On top of that, we also have this, so you can read the story of the Rexoning if you scan this code, which will give you kind of some information and a backstory on what's going on in this scene, which is even cooler. Again, they really go above and beyond for their releases. We've also got this little slip of paper here, basically showing us, again, some information on Ancient Era Artistry, as well as a shot of a Tyrannosaur of some kind, it looks like. And then here, again, we actually have a shot here of the Rexoning right there, as well as, again, some more information on Ancient Era Artistry. A really cool little letter over here, and it's also stating that you should sign up for their newsletter to keep in the know about Ancient Era, and you would receive 10% off on your next purchase, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. And we've got some information here kind of on the kit, basically telling you to be very careful because, of course, being a 3D printed resin model, they can be fragile. You really do need to be careful when opening, especially when it comes to something like this. As you can see, there are a lot of really small parts contained within this set. We also have some of these little nice soft circles that I would imagine we would use to put on the underneath of our base when we actually have this assembled and put together. There is also a magnet here for Ancient Era Artistry, which is, it's just so cool how much stuff you get when you place an order here. You order one of these, they don't go cheap on you, they really go above and beyond. We also have this little card here that again kind of promotes Ancient Era Artistry for you, and also another little scan code here, as well as the information for Matt from Ancient Era Artistry, who is the incredible creator of these models. We've also got a little sticker here for DMB 3D Design Solutions, as well as their website, and an awesome Ancient Era Artistry sticker. That is super cool. That's definitely something to go up on the dinosaur shelves here. And then we somehow have an even cooler sticker. Look at this one, with obviously the Rexoning on it, and showing us that this is, again, a limited edition. I think this one, I just need to find a home for it, somehow associated with the model itself. Maybe like put it up on the shelf and then put this on the shelf as well, just to kind of show you what we are looking at. And then we also have this card here, basically telling us that Ancient Era Artistry loves to see what you do with their models, so when you purchase one, make sure that you, again, tag them, let them see it, so that they can see what you've done as far as like painting and building it all up and everything. And then again, some more information over here on Ancient Era Artistry. and pretty much the same type of thing, but a totally different style card, as we again have Ancient Era Artistry making sure that you know that you should share the unboxing, build-up, or paintwork on social media, which of course would help to get more eyes on their incredible products, as well as shows off your incredible work. And it says right here that if you tag Ancient Era Artistry on Facebook or Instagram, you get an entry to win potentially a 1/57th scale miniature. So what could be better than that? But after we have now gone through all of that, the only thing left to do as of right now is to take a closer look at this amazing model, so let's jump to it right now. So we've got our first T-Rex. Now this is clearly the Rex that's kind of down on the ground, as it has a foot in the throat. So as of right now, this looks like maybe going to be the loser, but who really knows, I guess. But as you can see, again, as far as the texturing and the sculpt and everything, it is incredible. And on top of just looking like an overall beast of a Tyrannosaurus, there is just so much realism in the sculpt. And I love the fact that he sculpted out some injuries, which you can see here right there on the lower jaw, some really nice slices in the throat, which of course, being that this dinosaur is currently in mid-battle with another T-Rex, you would see that, of course, on the real situation on the real dinosaur. You can see a few more kind of like ridge-like scales leading off of the lower jaw. You can see some larger scales up here on the other end of the lower jaw, and just looking nice and close. Again, that skin texture is phenomenal. Obviously, our mouth is open here and letting out a vocalization, or maybe just trying to snap down on the other Rex, and you can see the detailing of the inside of the mouth is incredible. Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Like, as you lead back into the back of the throat, it doesn't look like it's a model, like it looks like the throat actually continues, making it look really lifelike. Can't wait to see this once it's actually painted up. All of the teeth are sculpted out beautifully, and you can see how they're like actually inserted into the gums. So again, another level of realism on this figure. You can see another injury right here, which is really cool. Another slice, it looks like, right here. Actually, even like kind of like a chunk taken out of the upper jaw on that side. You can see the detailing there around the eye also looks great. Really, really nice looking sculpting up here on the top of the Rex. Another slice running down the palate. You can see, again, kind of like a small line of ridges running down the top of the head and then running down the back of the Rex right there. Beautiful looking detailing here as you move down. You've got the ears sculpted out really nicely. The skin as well of the mouth is stretching quite beautifully, and the detail contained within that area as well looks fantastic. You can see the throat here is completely obscured by this foot being shoved into it, which might look a little humorous right now with it not connected to the other Rex, but you can see another injury right here, as well as some nice skin wrinkling and stuff here in the throat region of our Tyrannosaurus. And if we turn it around here and take a look over here, you can see the tensing of the neck, again, considering the situation that's occurring. You can also see how the detailing of the skin being pressed in the throat region by this Rex looks super, super realistic. Honestly, considering this foot is pretty much completely encased in the throat of this Rex at this point in time, I feel like this is probably going to be the loser of the battle. But as you continue to move down, you can kind of make out the shoulder blade right there, some nice girth here in the stomach region. You've got the arms sculpt, really nicely sculpted fingers, same deal for over there. Some more skin wrinkles and stuff here in the lower part of the stomach. You've got the skin stretching off of the stomach right there, with this leg kind of leaning back, trying to again help our Rex to escape its current predicament. And then as you lead down here, you can see the muscle definition of the leg, but I love that it's not super overly defined, which is something that I definitely am taking notice to on this Rex, is honestly how realistic I feel like the overall appearance is on this. You've got, again, injuries all over the place. You have like slices throughout. You've got more down here in the tail. As you lead down here, you've got a few more in the lower part of the thigh. You can see the kneecap, the really nice calf muscle, and again, a gorgeous foot sculpt here for our T-Rex. Look at the really nice kind of scoots, if my camera would stay focused on it. Scoots down the toes. Again, really nice skin movement and everything shown there. Beautiful dew claws present on the feet right there. And then as you lead out the length of the tail, you can actually see a cloaca here on the underside, but you can continue to see how nice the sculpting and detailing looks. You've got another slice out here. You've also got those ridges running along the top of our Rex. And then over here, you can see how the legs kind of pushing into the stomach a little bit, kind of wrinkling the skin right there. Again, some more fantastic detailing throughout the entire model. It is an insanely beautiful Rex, but just one heck of an incredible scene here portrayed before us. You can see more skin wrinkles and stuff as we lead out the length of the tail, and then we reach the tip, and there's yet another little injury out here at the tip of the tail. So that's the lower Rex, the one that's kind of being pinned down currently, but we've also got the Rex that's kind of in control here, and this one's kind of more standing and obviously has its foot planted in the throat of our other Rex. You can see this one, however, has also sustained some injuries here in the face. Definitely looks like the other Rex didn't go down without at least somewhat of a fight, and you can see the nostrils sculpted. Again, really nice looking eye sculpts, and the mouth on this one as well is sculpted in an open position as it's clearly expressing its dominance over the Rex that is down on the ground. And you can see again the tensing in the neck on this one as well. Both have their heads turned as they kind of yell at each other a little bit. You can see that the stomach region also sports some nice detailing. Again, the arm sculpt looks great. You can see the fingers as well as the fingernails look very, very good. You can see how this leg, however, even though we're missing the lower part, is leaning forward, whereas the leg on the other one was kind of pushing out. So obviously, this is the leg that's kind of planted into the throat. Some nice skin wrinkles there back behind that quite large, big, bulging calf muscle. And you can see, just looking at it, that the actual skin detail is phenomenal. You can see skin wrinkles, skin moving and reacting to the positioning of the body throughout every ounce of this incredible model. You can also see again over here how beautiful that head sculpt looks. All the teeth and everything look great. Really nice like stretching of the skin with such a sharp turn to the neck of the Rex, leaning so far to its left. You can see the ridges running along the back of this one, skin wrinkles and stuff as you move down, continuing to show off all sorts of movement for our Tyrannosaurus. I did fill some of the seams, so if you see seams filled and they don't look great, that's my fault. I'm not entirely done with them yet, but I really wanted to review this first now and get ready to paint it, because I didn't want to start doing any work too far into this before actually reviewing it. And then again, moving down here into the stomach, you can see how the skin is stretching off of the stomach there with the leg trailing yet again. Absolutely incredible looking detailing throughout honestly every area of this Rex. You can see skin movement the whole way up here of the stomach region in front of the thigh. The hip bone again is present there. Nice muscle definition, but yet again not overly defined. It doesn't look shrink wrapped by any means. As you move down, you can see that the Rex is obviously supporting most of its weight actually on the throat of the other Rex, because we only really have like the toes touching over here. So that clearly shows you that this Rex is definitely out to win this fight. You've got a few more injuries and stuff as you lead out here into the tip of the tail, again with a really nice curve. So the Rex is beautiful, just like the first Rex was. We also have a little bit of vegetation here that will be attached to this once we actually get down to the nitty-gritty and get this painted. And then we've got ourselves a Stygimoloch, and this one actually had some vegetation in its hand, but me being a clumsy ox, I kind of broke it off of the hand when I opened it, so I do still have a leaf in the hand, so we will paint the leaf out at least as if our Stygimoloch was just grabbing itself something to eat, and then this whole situation went down and now it's just kind of fleeing for its life. But you could see, honestly, it looks great. The sculpting and detailing is extremely vibrant on the Stygimoloch. You can see the mouth is slightly open. You can also just generally make out kind of like a panicked look on it as it's just trying to kind of get out of dodge, get out of the way. Very, very impressive looking sculpt and detail throughout every ounce of this. Just as impressive, I would say, as we saw in the Tyrannosaurs, and really want to get the actual figures themselves reviewed so I can get some paint on this and see how incredible it looks. But you can see that we have like really cool ridges and stuff, and like kind of almost like a slightly spiky look to our Stygimoloch as you lead out the length of the tail. Super cool, very unique looking, really nice looking foot sculpt as well, very bird-like foot sculpt. You can see that obviously the Stygimoloch is in the position of running as it's trying to take off, which just looks phenomenal. And then we've got our little Dracorex here. You can see also sports a very panicked look, even more so than the Stygimoloch. The mouth is open really wide, so clearly it is letting out one heck of a vocalization as it tries to bail on us and get out of the area. Similar looking sculpt here as far as the way that it's detailed, again with those kind of like ridges and everything leading out the length of the tail. We do have some, well, not even really vegetation, just an old tree here that's kind of deceased at this point in time, attached to the tail of the Dracorex. You can also see a little area here that we would use to again apply this to the base, but you can see that the leg is really up again as the Dracorex is trying to take off and again get out of dodge here as it escapes the area rather than being crushed by some massive Tyrannosaurs. And again, the detail is gorgeous on this, just like it was on the other models. And if that wasn't enough to sell you on this incredible piece, we've got the base, and the base is so cool. First of all, it's huge, and you can see a massive deceased tree that our Tyrannosaurs have kind of impacted here, and that looks incredible as well. I'm actually really excited just to paint the tree to see how that looks with paint on it, because that might be one of the most highly detailed trees that I've ever seen. It is crazy, crazy nice looking. But as you lead down here, you can see some really nice kind of earthy areas. You've got lots of areas, again, to apply the different pieces to the base that we need to apply. And I love that down here, on top of a little bit of vegetation, you can actually see a turtle hiding here under the tree. And that's definitely really cool. I can't wait to paint that as well, but I'm not entirely sure how they're all going to sit here on the base. So again, it was very important to me that I got this review up of this before it's totally built, because I really wanted to show off the fact that, again, the turtle is under there, and I don't know if he'll be obscured once the Tyrannosaurs are on it and everything. But as you move through, you can again see other areas of really nice detail. You've got some rocks and stuff, and we kind of have like a stream running through here, which I'm also quite excited to kind of paint up and see how nice I can make the stream look. But the base as a whole is honestly just as incredible as the Tyrannosaurs and the Stygimoloch and Dracorex. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to my painting table, get this all built, get this all painted, and we will be right back with the final product. So here is the finished product, and it's definitely sizable, a little hard to get into screen here, but it looks so insanely cool once it's actually finished, and we have the, two Tyrannosaurs battling it out here. I'm trying to maneuver this in a way where it's not going to smack the backdrop, because I definitely don't want to damage it after I put so much work into it. It did take quite some time to get this build finished and get this painted up and everything and the water applied, but I am actually really quite happy with the final product. I think it looks super, super cool when it's completely finished and, again, put together, assembled, and painted. Definitely one of the coolest dioramas that I have ever had the pleasure of building and painting here in my days as a dinosaur collector as well as a dino YouTuber. I'm just trying to kind of turn it here again very carefully to show you guys how cool it looks. I think it might be best to just kind of, take a look at it when it's down on the table. I usually like to get a little bit of a look at it up here in the better light, but because it's so big and there's just so many pieces kind of sticking out all over the place, I think that the best option would probably be to just take a look at it down on the table. But again, it is honestly a phenomenal model. Definitely one of the coolest scenes that I've ever seen in my entire life here by Ancient Era Artistry. Definitely a must-have model if you are a fan of Tyrannosaurs. Now here you can see again much better as far as like an overall view of the entire scene taking place here before us. You can get a better look at it here and see exactly again how nice it looks. But you can also see basically what I was talking about when I said that there were definitely like, some parts sticking out kind of all over the place. As you can see, we've got, a Stygimoloch and a Dracorex kind of leaping out of the scene. You also have the tails of the Tyrannosaurs kind of hanging out here and trying to run away on us here. And kind of just, again, exposed from the scene. And then you also have over here on the other side, if we can turn this nice and carefully, you've got that dead tree over here. Again, that's just like right in the midst of everything going on that kind of hangs out. So it's a little hard to get a shot of it up there and try to give you a good look at it without potentially damaging it, because there's just so many pieces, again, sticking out on this. But it is so insanely cool now actually finished, and again definitely creates one of the coolest dioramas that I have ever seen. And because there is so much to it, it is so fun to actually build and paint this. It takes a while, keeps you busy, which is definitely a good thing, and again is just one of the coolest scenes that you could possibly create when it comes to a dinosaur type of a collectible, especially when it comes to a Tyrannosaur collectible. And I did add a little extra vegetation and stuff on my own. I had a little extra over here, a little under the feet here of the, well, actually just the 1 foot of the T-Rex. And there's also a little bit under the T-Rex that's kind of being pinned down there, kind of like squished down. So I did add a little extra as far as that goes. But outside of that, everything else that you see here is all, again, included with the original model. It's basically how it would turn out if you were to purchase and build and paint this to add to your collection. And again, like I said, it is definitely a centerpiece type collectible. So that is probably the highest compliment you can give a model like this, would be to say that this is the type of model that you would have in the centerpiece of any collection. Now, as far as a size goes, that's going to be a little difficult. Definitely going to be a little tricky, because there's like Tyrannosaurs kind of leaning every which way, and it's definitely going to be a little hard to give us a good solid measurement. We can try, but I don't know how accurate it's going to be, because we'll go from, I guess, the tip of the tail of the standing Tyrannosaur to the base here. Yeah, I guess roughly. I don't want to hit the other two dinosaurs over there. So you're looking at about 14 inches or around 35.5 centimeters. Carefully remove that. From here to the tip of the tail of the Tyrannosaur that is attacking. Now, of course, the tail's kind of curved, so, the dinosaur's compressed in a little bit. But, again, this is 1/35th scale, so if you are familiar with the size of a 1/35th scale T-Rex, you'll clearly have a good idea of the size of this model. If we slide this in here under the Rex and kind of maneuver it around the piece of the tree and go from the snout of the Stygimoloch to the tail, you're looking at about 13 inches or around 33 centimeters roughly for a size in that direction. Carefully remove that. And then as far as a height, the highest point would definitely be the Rex, and this is really hard to do, but you're looking at about, and this is definitely a rough measurement, about just shy of 7 inches or around 18 centimeters in height, but might be a little bit less because I actually had to put that out further to try to get an idea as far as a measurement in that area. But for a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line, standing here next to our Ancient Era Artistry Rexoning diorama, and you can definitely see that, again, even at the 1/35th scale range, this is really quite large. Definitely an impressive diorama either way. And looking at this 1/35th scale version, like, my brain could not wrap around how large the 1/20th scale version would be. Like, that's insane. Because if you actually look back to my recent Beasts of the Mesozoic 1/18th scale T-Rex review, that Rex was huge. So, man, that's just insane to me how big the 1/20th scale version must be. But again, at 1/35th scale, it is a very nice, very convenient size, but still pretty impressive in the size department. And then for one more comparison, and probably the only other comparison I think we'll really do, because it's not the easiest model to even apply comparisons to, because again, they're in a very, very dynamic position, so it's not like you can get figures really close to them. But we have, again, our randoms that we like to bring in from time to time, as we have the Schleich Diabloceratops, the Safari LTD Tyrannus, and the Collect Day Deluxe Dimetrodon here, next to our Rexoning diorama. Again, giving you one more idea as far as the size goes, but trust me when I tell you, it's very, very nicely sized, quite sizable as a whole, but it's an impressive size, and impressive enough to really draw the attention of anyone that comes into your collector's room. And again, the overall diorama in general is impressive enough to draw anyone's attention in, but the size also helps for sure. So this 1/35th scale Rexoning diorama from Ancient Era Artistry is unquestionably one of the coolest and most beautiful dioramas that I have ever had the pleasure of building and painting and adding to my collection. This thing is just phenomenal on so many levels. First of all, we've got the beautiful Dracorex and Stygimoloch down there. They look fantastic, and they did such a great job of sculpting them out in a way that they look genuinely frightened. Like, they look like they are terrified by what's occurring and are basically just fleeing the scene, and he has captured that again perfectly, even including fear in the faces of the dinosaurs, which is such a nice touch for the model and the realism of the model. And again, the detailing is outstanding on both of those. He's captured all the really nice detail you would expect to find. And again, even at the smaller 1/35th scale range, they are super highly detailed. And I also love the fact that they have really quite dynamic poses, and again, with the idea of Dracorex and Stygimoloch potentially being like the same animal but at different stages of its life, you can really see that he's sculpted them out in a way that it looks like that could actually be the case. So also a huge plus as far as that goes. The terrain itself is also beautiful, again, just as highly detailed as the dinosaurs themselves. I love the extra added vegetation. There's even vegetation on the base itself, and the kind of like old downed tree that was basically laying across this little stream that we have here is awesome. Definitely a really cool addition to this set, and I think that he has sculpted the tree itself out as well really beautifully, to the point where it looks like a straight up real tree here on the base, and also like the bend and like crushing of that tree as the Tyrannosaurs are kind of battling it out. It just looks so good here on the base again on the final product, and really helps to add just another level of excitement, I think, to the scene that we are portraying, as the Tyrannosaurs just completely crush that dead tree there under the immense weight of their battle they currently have going on. So that is just super, super cool. And the fact that we have a stream running through is also awesome. I always love any type of an attempt to kind of add a watery area to a diorama. It's just something that I really have always been a big fan of, so having the opportunity to add some water to the base in this instance was definitely a pleasure and something that I was really quite happy about, and also again helps to add some more appeal to the overall appearance of the scene taking place. And then the Tyrannosaurs themselves are fantastic. Like, sculpt wise, they are beautiful, super, super highly detailed, just like the Stygimoloch and Dracorex, but incredible detailing. And considering the positioning, the very dynamic positioning that they are currently in, he has sculpted out every ounce of detail perfectly to represent the positioning of the body. Even like one area I love specifically is where the Tyrannosaur has its foot down in the throat of the other Rex, and it's just kind of pressing it into the throat, and how all of the like skin wrinkles and stuff fold up around the toes. It just looks so cool, so realistic. But honestly, it doesn't end there. He has captured every detail you could possibly want, including the slices and cuts and everything, and even like a little chip of skin ripped out of the upper part of the jawline of the Tyrannosaur that is laying down. Again, just so much realism, so many tiny details that are just so fun to paint out when, again, you are building and painting this model. Now, of course, this was built and painted by me, so when you receive yours, you could build it up and paint it however you would like, but I did mention a few times here that we do have the 1/20th scale version of the Rexoning available, and I actually have some images here, first of all, of the entire thing put together, which you can clearly see how huge it looks right there, but just for a comparison between the 1/35th and 1/20th scale versions, you can see here these images basically show off the difference in size between the Tyrannosaurs, and you can see how small the 1/35th scale version looks in comparison to the 1/20th scale, which again shows you how massive the 1/20th scale model would be. So if you are looking for like the overall coolest diorama to add to your collection and you want some good size to it, that 1/20th scale Rexoning is a great way to go. One thing though to keep in mind when you purchase this, that again it's a 3D printed resin model. Immediately, I can tell you it is a little fragile, so you definitely want to be careful with it when you are getting it out and building it and everything. But the cool thing about Ancient Era Artistry is he actually has a few different ways you can purchase it, and just because you can get this in the style that I did, where it is pretty fragile, you can also purchase it as an upgrade with a more durable, impact resistant resin that he has. So you can get it in a little bit of a tougher resin if you would like to go that route. If you're a little clumsy, even though I am very clumsy, again, that is a possibility. And you can also, again, purchase the kits in different ways. We have 3 different ways to purchase them. First of all, you can get it disarticulated with supports. This is the least expensive option, as the kit comes in parts still attached to some of the 3D printed supports. So that's definitely the, again, cheapest option, which you would have to do a little work on for yourself. You also have the disarticulated model, basically the same as I had just mentioned, but fully removed from the supports. And then you also have the built up and primered either printed in larger parts on the larger printer or hand built up by Ancient Era Artistry themselves, and then you can have it just built or you can have it built and primed by them. So you have plenty of different options as far as how you could acquire your model, and you can again purchase it with the model grade resin or the impact resin, which is very durable. So plenty of different options to keep in mind if you are going to purchase one of these kits, but one way or another I can tell you with confidence that I highly recommend picking one of these kits up. If you have even the slightest bit of interest in this, I say go for it, because it is easily one of the coolest dioramas that I have ever had the pleasure of checking out here on Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and unquestionably one of the highest recommendations from me. And now having this here, I am pretty much dying to get more from Ancient Era Artistry, so hopefully I'll have the pleasure of reviewing some more stuff in the future, because this, again, is definitely one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and definitely one of the coolest additions to my collection ever. So if you are interested in this, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase this on Ancient Era Artistry's website, and I will also include a link to the Ancient Era Artistry Facebook page, which you should definitely follow. Keep up to date on everything that they are producing, all the sales and everything they have going on, and of course any new models being introduced to their line. So make sure you check out, again, the Facebook page, the website, any of their social media outlets and stuff. Make sure you follow them, make sure you purchase this incredible Rexoning diorama, and take a look at some of the other stuff they have up on their website, actually, because they have a lot of really cool stuff besides just this Rexoning diorama, and definitely a lot of stuff worth checking out. So make sure you do all that, and make sure you also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.